You want to go first, Frankie?
I'll go first.
Okay, here we go.
All right, Dan, here we go. First question. Which of us has committed the most crimes?
Me.
Yeah, that's an easy question.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
That's
right
a no-brainer. What did Dad always say? Ooh, this is a good one.
Boy, he had a lot of.
He had a lot of sayings.
Yeah. I don't know. You got to think about that for a minute. What comes to your mind?
Middle of the field.
Yeah.
When we
yeah,
were roughhousing.
Yeah. But Mom said that too a lot.
That's
too.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. That was Mom, middle of the field.
I thought Dad said that too.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they both said it.
If you could
swap places with me for a week.
If you could swap places
Jordan
with me
must
for a
have written
week,
that one because I
what
can't
is the
read
first
that
thing
handwriting.
you would do as me? What would you do as mayor or as me?
Probably have Steve Crown run the license plate some people I don't like.
Ah, got it. That's a good idea. Yeah.
That's what I'd do. Chief wouldn't do it, but I'd ask him anyway.
You'd ask him anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Which of us caused more damage to our childhood home?
I don't remember how many golf balls we broke windows with,
I broke at least one.
but you broke it from the outside. I broke one from the inside
Ooh,
out.
that's right, you
In the
did.
living room. I was chipping and got it hold of
So that would be you.
Yeah, so
Because it's
I broke
understandable if I'm hitting a golf ball outside and I strike a building, as opposed
that's
to
okay, yeah.
hitting a golf ball inside.
Yeah,
That
I
was
don't-
good.
I don't know any other damage that
I don't
I
either.
probably did, but
I didn't set fire to the house. BJ did.
BJ
So
set fire to the house, yeah. So I think, yeah,
okay.
I think that's probably it, yeah. Breaking windows with golf balls.
Whose turn is it?
It's mine. Which of us is more famous?
I don't know. You get recognized. I get recognized. I was in media for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to
I don't
that.
think. I think it's about pretty close.
Probably pretty close.
About even.
Yeah.
So.
I hear more people say I've met with your goofy brother today. And I have to
Yeah.
ask which one.
Right.
then-
And I do the same
yeah,
thing.
and they say you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I say, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
What's the worst prank you've played on each other? Ooh.
I don't know if there's any good pranks. Dan, back in the day when we would play outside, if he didn't like what was going on, he'd throw the ball on the
Yeah.
roof.
If I was losing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a bad loser.
Yeah. So lots of times, whatever football we were playing ended up on the roof of the flat house.
You took me out on my 21st birthday, and you said we weren't going to go drinking.
And how did that go?
I puked on a cop car, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah. What food was most often served for dinner at our house?
Not very good.
So what was your birthday dinner? When it was your birthday, Mom said anything you wanted.
Yours was always tuna fish casserole.
Tuna casserole.
Yeah,
So
you
that's-
loved it with the
that's-
potato
fish
chips on top.
Yep.
I can't remember. I want to say spaghetti.
Okay.
On our birthdays, we got to have whatever we wanted for dinner. That's how I think most families do that.
And I think the funny thing is when we had the big house, inside the walk-in, we had those 100-pound bags of potatoes.
Yep.
And every night for dinner was potatoes.
Yeah.
Baked potatoes, scallop potatoes, mashed potatoes,
Yep.
potato cakes, I think that was the cheapest way to feed 9 people.
Yeah, Mom knew how to make potatoes.
Yeah, so
I love my mother. She was not a very good cook.
yeah, we all ate a bunch of potatoes.
Yeah, we just ate a bunch of food. Which of us was Mom's favorite?
I was probably more of her favorite.
I would say you. Yeah,
yeah.
I would say that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yes.
I remember reading the family letters, and so our grandmother couldn't hear.
She was deaf.
And so my mom would write a weekly letter.
Right. That's how they
grandma.
communicated.
That's
And
how
now
they-
we have an archive of it.
And now when grandma died, we got all the letters and they're all archived. And so you can read when Danny was born and when I was born. And I think Mom wrote a letter and said, Frankie's really good at math or
Yeah.
something, like when I was in like
It was
second
unique
grade or
that our
something. Yeah.
maternal grandmother was deaf because they couldn't talk on the phone. And so they communicated by letter, and we have them all.
Yeah.
So we have this family history that a lot of families don't have that. From
Yeah.
when Mom was, about 7 or 8?
Yeah. Yep.
All the way until
Yeah.
Grandma
it's
died.
Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
How many siblings do we actually have?
That's Jefferson wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have to answer that.
We have 8. There's 9 kids, so I have 8 brothers and sisters.
And then
I
3
believe you-
stepsisters.
3 stepsisters.
So I consider us 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
6 and 6.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. Who was the first mayor candidate you voted for? I was a registered voter in '82, so I would say Jim Lynch. Absolutely, it would
Yeah,
be Jim
I'm
Lynch.
guessing it was probably Jim Lynch.
Because he was
Yeah.
77, 81, 85, 89,
Yeah.
right? And then
But
he lost to
remember-
Earl in '93.
I don't know where you lived, but we were in the county for the long time.
That's
so
right.
We didn't even get to vote
Holy
for.
Well, no, by '93, I was in the city, In '89, I was in the city, so it had to have been Jim.
I was never in the city.
That's right.
So the big house wasn't in the city.
Until you bought it.
Right? And then I annexed it in, so that would have been the first. So I probably voted for Dennis Johnson.
Yeah, because you lived on the east side.
Yeah. And in the county, out in Harbell and those other places. So yeah, I'm guessing Dennis Johnson was my first vote for mayor.
Wow, I wish Jim was still alive. I'd have to tell him that I voted for him before you did.
Yeah, so I got to tell you this funny story. So Ruta Jones, I don't know if you knew Ruta. Ruta passed away recently, and she worked for the city for 40 years. And so I had a going away party. I talked to Ruta, and she got up and said a few things. She goes, well, I want you to know that you're my second favorite mayor. And I said, perfect. Who's your first? Jim Lynch. He hired me. And I said, good choice. He's my favorite mayor, too. So I tell that story a lot. So that's my cute Ruta story.
Our final story for me is how I call Frankie, and he calls me Danny when he was at UW, and he came back. Of course, once you go to college, you don't go to the dentist anymore. Mom still makes that happen.
Yeah.
And you were back from on Christmas break.
Yep.
And I was either a junior or senior in high school, and Mom said, got to go see Bob Euler, got to get your checkups at the dentist. And we went together, and we're in the dentist office in the waiting room waiting to get called in. And they had your file, which went all the way back to God knows where, to 4 or 5 years old. Yep. She comes out with the file thing, and his name's Frankie Kuntz. Yeah. Frankie Kuntz. That's right. It's your turn.
Yeah.
And we laughed so hard.
Yeah.
And from that time
Little
forward,
Frankie Kuntz, yeah.
He's Frankie and I'm Danny.
Yep.
And this concludes the interrogation.